Nation. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terra Strength, on air now from Lagos, Nigeria. Please call in family 605-562-0444. Press pin number 7414519#. £1 to listen, *2 to join the conversation. And this is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. And of course, as always, before I begin, I would like to thank Brother Oladelli and the One Dynasty family for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my perspective. The topic for this evening, and there's a lot going on out there, family. The previous show, the legendary Miss Bats was just talking about the coronavirus, and we're going to talk briefly about that, but we're going to take it a step further because this is the Terra Strength Show, and that's what we do. We take it a step further, right? So we're going to go farther down the rabbit hole. The title for our show today is Spirituality, A New Perspective. What? We create our illnesses. That's the topic for today. Please call in 605-562-0444. Press pin number 7414519#. £1 to listen, *2 to join the conversation. You can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please log in, check in, let me know your comments, okay? The great awareness comes slowly, piece by piece. The path of spiritual growth is a path of lifelong learning. The experience of spiritual power is basically a joyful one. That was written by Scott Peck, and I got a second one for you guys this evening. The awakening is finally realizing that you are part of God, like a single cell that finally sees it as a part of you. And that was written by L.J. Vanier. All right, so over the past couple months, we've talked about us being in school, as we all know. Over the past couple of weeks, I've had interviews. I talked about the tools that we have here at our disposal to help us to navigate this realm, okay? We talked about the fact that we're in school. We talked about the universal laws that we are here to adhere to, no matter what our religious beliefs are, no matter where we come from culturally, no matter our ethnicity. None of that matters. The fact that we have incarnated here to figure some stuff out, and the goal is not to have to come back unless we want to. And I'm sure most of us don't want to come back in these same circumstances. To piggyback off of the previous show, now we have this coronavirus out here that is scaring everyone. It is causing devastation in China right now. It's beginning to spread. And I want to thank Miss Bats for showing us how to protect ourselves and keeping us aware of what's going on so we can better protect ourselves. She said something very interesting tonight. She was talking about man-made viruses. Well, I want to say something to you, family, that guess what? They're all man-made. And the reason why they're all man-made is because we are creators. Okay? We are creators. And just like I've been teaching, that we are loved at all times. But when we forget that, we create illnesses. And then we go outside of ourselves to get it taken care of. So let's see how this goes. So we create the illness. We go to our doctors to cure us of something that we've created because we don't know that we've created it. But if we truly understand that we are creators and that we are ultimately responsible for everything in our lives, then once that perspective takes place and we have a shift, then guess what we tend to do less? We create less illnesses in our lives, or we attract less illnesses. So what I want to do tonight on the Brother Strength Show is I want to take it a little deeper and explain how this thing works and the fact that we create our illnesses, okay? Some of this information may piss off some of you. It may surprise a lot. I'm not here to make you upset, but when it comes to your expansion and mind, it is what it is. The more you know, the more you can have control over your experience in this realm. So this is very, very, very important. Okay? Please call in tonight. Please call in with your illnesses. If you have loved ones that are suffering from something, it's a book I'm reading out. I'm going to share with you guys. If you're suffering with something yourself, I'm going to actually explain how it connects with you emotionally, how it's telling. Okay, so how do we know this stuff? A couple of weeks back, I talked about different psychics. You have different types of psychics and mediums. You have what is called a medical intuitive. This is a person who has the gift of knowing what illnesses you have going on. And through study, through understanding chakras, through different disciplines, shamanism, and all types of different spiritual practices, the way our spacesuits are designed, they are designed to let us know what we are not dealing with emotionally. So the spacesuits that we come down here in this realm, it's almost like the gauge in your automobiles, letting you know that the oil pressure is too high, or you need some more radiator. Your car is overheating. You can choose to ignore it. The gauge is there to let you know what's going on with your car. You can continue and drive and ignore it, and eventually you're going to blow up your engine. Well, our bodies are the same way. We create illnesses, and certain illnesses have to do with what we aren't dealing with emotionally. And you will be stunned with the accuracy of this. So I told you guys that is deeper than what you realize down here, and that you can actually figure it out. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had interviews with someone who was regressed, and I call regression therapy the cheat sheet. It's the cheat code, because it allows you to look at what was going on in your life, in your past life, so that you can see the pattern and step it up in this lifetime. Okay? So, here we are on One Dynasty, sharing with a lot of this stuff has never even been talked about before, as far as I know, and understanding. We've had psychics on and connecting there and showing you the other side, and having you guys being able to connect with the other side for some of your loved ones or issues or things that's going on. Then we talked about regression therapy, which I feel is essential, is allowing us to hypnotize and to tap into your past lives so that you can see the patterns that you're probably recreating in this lifetime. That's why I call it the cheat code. And so now we're going to talk about the connection with the fact that the emotional things or issues that we are not dealing with manifest into disease or dis-ease. Okay? So what type of power? So you may be asking, Terrace, what type of power does this give you? Well, we're in relationships, we have families, we have children. So when you meet that guy or that woman and she's dealing with diabetes, because you understand this type of knowledge, you know what emotional issues she's not dealing with. So now when you're talking to her, you can begin to have this conversation. Or if you're with a guy and he has heart issues, you know what emotional issues he's not dealing with. So guess what? You get to see him from a different perspective, to see him even deeper, and you can begin to have that conversation. You may decide you don't want to talk to this person, or you may decide that you want to really help this person to move towards expansion. But our physical elements tell on us. They tell what we aren't dealing with, okay? So please call in with some of your ailments and issues that you want to talk about, and I'll look them up, and I'm going to read them on the show. This is a first-time situation. I'm going to read it on the show so that we can all benefit and learn. All right? So again, please call in 605-562-0444. Press pin number 7414519#. Now, this coronavirus, frankly, this thing is scary to me. Okay, because the flu is scary to me, and it's like 20 times the flu. But right now, the fear that it's creating is also causing it to spread. So I'm not here telling anybody not to go to your doctors and all of that. That's a given. If you come down with something, you go to your doctors. What I'm trying to explain is the genesis of what you have, and the fact that for a lot of it, just you dealing with the emotional stuff will cause some of these illnesses to disappear. Okay? And you didn't hear me stutter when I said that. I've had these experiences. Friends of mine have had these same experiences. So there is definitely a connection. Your body loves you and is trying to tell you to love yourselves. Okay? That happens to be the title of the book that I'm going to read this from. It's called Your Body is Telling You to Love Yourself. All right? So we're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk tonight about the connection between the illnesses that we have and what they say about what we aren't dealing with. Okay? Please call in. I'll take your calls. Please call in. Don't waste this opportunity to figure some of this stuff out and everything. All right? Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the major ones. I hope to get some call-ins. There are some people that I expect to call in, obviously. So let's start with diabetes. Because, like, for me, I figure the top 4 illnesses that we see in people are diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and arthritis. All right? So let's look at what diabetes means. So when a person has diabetes, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. You know, I ain't trying to get anybody pissed off, but listen, if it can help you or help that person and can move them towards healing, then, you know, why would we not be interested in this type of knowledge? Again, I would call this esoteric knowledge. All right? So let's look at what diabetes mean, okay? All right. So the physical block. Diabetes is a disturbance in the metabolism from lack of insulin secreted by the pancreas or from its inability to function normally. 85% of adults diagnosed with diabetes are overweight. The emotional block. The pancreas is the gland linked with the solar plexus, which deals with emotions, desires, and all intellectual activities. Pancreatic disorders indicate imbalance on the emotional level. If you are diabetic, you are often very emotional and have too many desires for yourself and others. You want everyone to have a slice of the pie, but you can also be envious of if someone has more than you. You are a devoted person, but you expect too much from yourself and others. You tend to blame yourself readily for others' dissatisfaction. You also tend to expend excessive energy and mental activity researching the means necessary to respond to your needs. This behavior is caused by an inner sadness from an unmet desire to be loved. Okay? And then they talk about juvenile diabetes may manifest in children who feel insufficiently acknowledged. They are exhibiting an inner emptiness that seeks some form of compensation. Now, here's the mental block. Diabetes is a signal that you need to learn to let go and let things happen at their own pace. Stop trying to control the course of events. You need to realize that it is not your purpose to make everyone else happy. In addition, others may not necessarily want what you want for them, or they might not desire it as intensely. Acknowledge all the goodness that flows freely in your life. Become mindful of the moment and taste each moment in all its delicious glory. Don't let yourself be distracted by what you may want tomorrow. Accept that even though you may have been unable to fulfill a very important desire in the past, you can still enjoy smaller ones in the moment. If you are a young child or adolescent with juvenile diabetes, stop thinking that you are the forgotten child. Find yourself and your place in the family. All right? That was diabetes. All right? I think we have a track next. Brother O?
Muted.
All right. Thank you for that, Brother O. I love that song. All right. Again, family, please call in. That was diabetes. You heard what it said. If it applies, please take a look at that in yourselves and in your families. Take a look at that and see what you can do about dealing with those emotional issues. I want to go on to another one. I want to talk about cancer. Okay? That's an epidemic right now. It's been an epidemic. You know, we're told we're getting cures for it constantly. Well, once again, we're creating it. So I want to talk about what cancer means. Please call in. Again, 605-562-0444. Press pin number 7414-519 £1 to listen, *2 to join the conversation. Please call in with your illnesses. Cancer, physical block. This is now a general term for more than 100 diseases that are characterized by abnormal and uncontrolled cell division. It may spread to other parts of the body through the lymphatic system or the bloodstream. Read the following and realize that the part of the body affected by the cancer will give you a clue as to the psychological implications. Emotional block. Cancer is the result of significant emotional wounding that was experienced in isolation during childhood. The most common emotional wounds that can manifest as serious physical disease are rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, and injustice. Some people have endured a number or combination of these wounds. So as you can see, we've talked about this stuff in the past, about the rejection issues with our women, about slavery or oppression issues and why this is such a big deal, and how we put ourselves into institutions, and these institutions that we align ourselves with cause our own physical illnesses. This is serious, family. If you suffer from cancer, you're probably a very loving person that wants to live in a loving world so much that you completely repress your feelings of bitterness, resentment, and even hatred towards one of your parents. You may even have blamed God for what you went through and still blame him for the state of your life. These suppressed feelings are not even acknowledged, let alone dealt with and released. So they are left to accumulate and gather in the body, to grow every time something awakens the emotional wound. Once emotional critical mass has been reached, the cancer will surface. Mental block. Forgive yourself for having angry and vengeful thoughts towards one or both of your parents. You are human. You're allowed to suffer. Forgive and love the child in you who has suffered silently and who had no one in whom to confide. Forgiveness is the great healer. The only thing your soul needs is love and forgiveness. Visualize, if you will, all of your emotional baggage in one bag that you have carried with you all of your life. It's time to simply put down the bag. There is no need to punish yourself any longer or to feel guilty for having these thoughts. You must stop thinking that you are unkind if you hate someone. You're not unkind. You're human. Self-forgiveness is the greatest challenge for the cancer patient. Refer to this at the end of the book and follow the steps to true forgiveness. That's cancer. That's how we create cancer. And then we go to our doctors and they put us in debt to cure something that we're creating because we don't understand. This is why, family, it's so important for us to embark on this spiritual journey so that we can understand how it really works down here, so that we ain't got to come back here again. This is school. We have a caller in the queue. Caller 1, who am I speaking with? Hello?
This is Brother Mac.
Brother Mac, how you doing? How you doing?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Brother Mac. They getting me all emotional over here, playing with my emotions. I'm doing okay.
They gotta get you riled up somehow.
Yeah, they got me riled up. They think this thing is not a game. All right. So what can I do for you?
That's true. The topic tonight is particularly interesting because I myself, when I ran across the book that you're referring to, I had a couple of physical issues, and one of them was I had a growth on my foot, and it was really painful. I couldn't figure out where it came from, and I couldn't seem to get rid of it. So when I read through the book and found a description of where it was coming from, it made me think about, it described your foot being an extension of your leg, and that being part of how you get around, and the emotional block would be that you're feeling like you're not moving in the direction you want to go or moving fast enough. and it made me think about some things, about just things that I went through in my childhood and, you know, stuff growing up. And so anyway, long story short, you know, it encourages you to sit back, maybe meditate a little bit to yourself and think about different things you can forgive yourself for. Even just going through the motions of telling yourself that it was okay that, you know, you made decisions that you made, and whether they played out the way you wanted them to, you know, you can't be mad at yourself. You can't hold on to what maybe didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And you have to, you know, allow yourself the freedom to move past it.
Right.
So I try to spend 10, 15 minutes a day doing that. And after about 2 or 3 days, that growth on my foot just kind of went away.
It fell off.
The pain went away. It fell off. I couldn't really, it was amazing to me, because the book talks about that if you can just sit still for a minute and really focus on letting things go, that your body will react to that and let the illness go. And it really happened. I was shocked. I was shocked happily.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't come back. But I try to spend like 10, 15 minutes a day just kind of reminding myself, sitting still, reminding myself that, you know, things that happened in the past were okay, and I don't have to carry around certain baggage, and try to love myself a little bit better. And, you know, that forgiving yourself thing is not something you take lightly. I mean, it sounds, I guess, a little corny at first, but it's something that really, really is necessary in life.
Wow.
I've come to, not even necessarily to believe it, I've come to understand it.
Wow, that's incredible. Mr. Mack, how many days was it between you reading the book? Like how long did it take again before it came off? It came off in your shoe?
I would say about 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days after that. So I mean, so was it really serious? Were you about to go to the doctors for it or something like that?
My wife was getting ready to schedule an appointment at the podiatrist because they had been hurting for 2 or 3 weeks. I changed shoes. I was doing creams. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, and it was painful to walk. It was a mess. And when I started reading the book and I started trying to do some of the exercises, and like 2 or 3 days later, it was gone. So it was I canceled my appointment to the podiatrist. I had the problem didn't come back, and every day I just kind of remind myself to to sit still for a minute and let stuff go.
That's incredible. I mean, that really is an amazing story. It really is. Absolutely.
I'm amazed to tell the story.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for sharing that, with the audience. I want to encourage everyone else to please call in, because this is very, very powerful information. Again, it's empowering you. I know for me personally.
Absolutely. It's almost unbelievable to think that we actually have that much influence over how our body reacts, but it's all connected, and we have to know and understand on deeper levels that our physical body truly is a reflection of our emotional self.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that when you're imbalanced emotionally, your body displays that, and it's asking you to rebalance your emotional self. It's it's telling you, like the book says, it's telling you to love yourself.
And
That's
that's how
a
we're
real
designed.
thing.
We are designed that way. I want to thank you for sharing that, Brother Mac, and please call in again. And I
No
want to help
problem, no
others to
problem.
call in. Thank you. All right, Brother O, you got some more tunes for me?
You know better than that. Come on, Terrence. I'm always ready for you, baby. Remember, Mr. Terrence Prince, with the healed of diseases, the fuck.
Thank you, Brother O. All right, I think we have a caller two in the queue. Brother O, you funny.
Yes, indeed, you have a call in the queue at this time. Bring them all right here on the Dynasty. This is No, You're Right.
Yes. My name is Mr. Renee. You might not remember me, but I used to be with a group called Renee and Angela probably over 30 years ago. So I just happened to hear the DJ just play a song that you barely heard my voice. You actually heard Miss Angela Winbush voice more than mine. So to keep me from getting emotional, I thought I would call in and let everybody know that I'm actually still here and alive.
Well, I'm glad you called me. Magic Man.
And how you, man? I can't get away with nothing. Ken. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Thank you for calling. Thanks for asking.
Hey, no doubt. And I just want to say, man, I'm really enjoying your shows, man, your topics. The previous caller who called before me, and I just want to put out there, man, the power of thought. It's a case of mind over matter. And again, I give thanks to All in All, man, because your show, and you and I don't talk directly, but I give thanks to All in All because it's amazing that just about each show that you deliver, and I pretty much end it on a similar note, not necessarily the same thing, but they're very, how important it is for us to take control and realize how important our bodies are, but we have to be able to take control. And until we start doing that, it makes us susceptible
Absolutely.
to any type of disease known to man or created or whatever by man and mankind.
Absolutely.
Or even the body turning in on itself, from a common cold to all kind of things. So we have to get to the point where we're actually taking control, man. So thank you so much for you just coming up with these topics, man. And I also want to say one more thing. Congratulations, Terrence Strength, on your O&E syndication station, all-time connection record. This is your 14th all-time and your 13th consecutive.
Thank you, Magic Man. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Thank you. I have great teachers and everything, so I appreciate that. And I think we have a caller. We have a third caller in the queue. Caller 3. Who am I speaking with? Hello.
Yes, good evening, Miss Jim Storm.
How are you doing, Miss Storm?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking, and yourself.
Yes, I'm doing great. I'm honored to have you on my show, on the show. Thanks for calling in.
I love the topic so much. I'm happy to have made it in queue. I can only listen until I finish my dinner. I try not to eat too late at night, and my mom wasn't hungry yet.
Right.
So I was eating and listening.
Okay.
And then when I finished, my thought was, because I can raise my hand now.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'd like to share something with your listeners that I did for myself that everyone should do.
Okay.
I don't know who your insurance carrier is or how it's set up, but the insurance that I have, they allow people in certain groups like disabled adults and seniors to have what they some call it a customer service representative, others call it an advocate. If you have such a person, please utilize them. There may be services that you can receive, that you can benefit from holistically.
Okay,
That
great.
will not require a new medication or another doctor for you to see.
Great.
So that you can treat yourself. Because I literally weaned myself off of 19 prescription drugs down to 3. 15 months ago.
Smart lady.
I'm going back to my doctor on Wednesday to find out what the results are. I don't believe that my health has suffered at all.
Not at
I
all.
was being over medicated, and I had to take control of my own life and my own health.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all creators.
Oh. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. It was a necessity for me to find out for myself, was this a chemical dependency to pharmaceuticals, or was these a necessity in my overall health regime? I didn't feel like it. I felt like I was taking medication to treat side effects that I was getting from medication.
Absolutely.
So I stopped.
That's the hustle.
And I feel, I feel like it was something that was a necessity for me. I'm not advocating this for anyone else who is chronically ill. Please listen to your doctor's advice if it's in your best interest. I did what was best for me.
Absolutely. Smart lady. Thank you for sharing that.
I thought I'd share that.
Yep, I appreciate that, and you're right. And this is the reason why we're having this show, so that people can stop profiting off of our ignorance. Really.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We don't know.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I found out that I had rheumatoid arthritis, the first thing that I thought, what can I do for myself without a prescription from you to ease up joint pain? My doctor said lose weight. I said, I need to know how much. Like, give me a number.
Well,
She said, I would say about 20 pounds. Absolutely.
Well, actually,
and in what time frame should I have lost it? Honestly, like I asked, and she said, you should lose 20 pounds in about a month and a half. Perfect. I'm sure I can do that. I did that and maintained it for a year. And the following year, she said, how was it possible? Because I made a conscious decision not to regain the weight.
absolutely. There you go.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was portion control. Like I said, the time of day in which I eat, how many calories I was able to burn during an active day. What if I had an inactive day? Should I eat less? You understand what I'm saying? You
Absolutely.
have to balance it for you. Nobody has the prescription for your health care the way that you do, because you know yourself. You listen to your body. It will
Yep.
tell you. Listen, it will tell you.
Yep.
And always speak lovingly to yourself. I try to always, every morning when I wake up, I say something beautiful to me
That's really important.
about me.
Yep.
It really is.
It's really important.
It has actually changed my outlook and my perspective about lots of other things, not just my life, but just starting the day on a positive note. Literally, do it for 30 days.
Absolutely.
It'll become a habit. You cannot stop it. You will have to actually do it, or your day will feel off.
Absolutely.
You deserve it.
Yep.
Self-love. So that's why I came.
Thank you for
And
sharing that.
congratulations, by the way, on your championship this evening.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your comments. And they're very accurate. I was going to actually read what rheumatoid
welcome.
arthritis meant, actually, but thank you for calling in with that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. And I think I have a caller 4 in the queue next. Is there a caller 4? Hello?
Hello.
Call for you on the line right now with.
Hello.
No, you're right. Right here. Yeah, there you are, right here on the dice.
I'm here. Who am I speaking with?
And thank you. Hi, this is Lena. I was calling tonight because I heard the show and it's certainly up my alley, rolls up my alley. I also have the book by the author Lisa Bobo, Your Body is Telling Yourself to Love You, to love yourself. And I got the book because I was going through so many different health challenges at the time. And just reading the book was just so revealing because it kind of basically turned my world around because I came from a mindset of, oh, why is this happening to me? To I'm creating this, and not only am I creating this, I can see from emotional and mental and the physical perspective how these things are being created in me.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I used to have problems with my digestion, and it literally, the book tied that, it made a connection that the ailment that I'm having was connected to a direct physical response that my body was having to the situation that I was in or the pain body that I was experiencing. So I thought that was just mind blowing.
It's amazing
for me.
Yeah.
And having that knowledge made me take a lot a bigger control over what I allowed to affect me and how it affected me. Even though a situation could not be perfect, life is not perfect, I do have some control over how I allow it to, be injected into my body. So I start to take control over how I let things penetrate my mental, my physical, and just take control over my own body. And I agree with the first caller that through meditation, it can really help you be a lot stronger, be a lot clearer, and to free yourself of some of the negativity that can come your way and comes as you're just going through life.
Absolutely.
And someone that has experienced all these different illnesses, I certainly am of the mindset now that I really would like to, not only should we take responsibility for our health, but it would be great if we could also cultivate a community that we understand that our illnesses start from a mental and emotional, pain that we have in our lives, that we're creating in our lives.
Absolutely.
So to deal with, what I'm saying basically, we need to start dealing with the emotional pain. Like if someone goes in for a stomach trouble, you deal with that person from an emotional and spiritual perspective, as opposed to just put a Band-Aid on the issue.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It should be happening. It should be happening in psychotherapy. But yeah,
so that's my thought process on this book, and this book is just amazing. I definitely recommend anyone to pick up this book or call in if they have a illness that they don't understand how it occurred in your lives. This book will definitely take you to a point where you can figure out your own answer.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing those comments. I appreciate it. And she's right. Most of us run to the doctors and carrying on. I know me personally, when I have something go wrong, I run to the book first and try to figure out what I'm not dealing with. And, once we all take that mindset that our bodies are telling us what we aren't dealing with so that we can deal with it, so that we can move on and expand. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So you can't align yourself in organizations that oppress you and tell you that you're less than. You're going to pay a physical price for that. So it causes us to go inward. Meditation, things like meditating, understanding, the regression therapy, talking to psychics, all these things remind us of our eternal nature. We are eternal. And we must remember that. I want to read one more. I don't have any more calls. I don't see. I want to read one more before the night is over, if you guys don't mind. I want to read what heart disease means, or heart disorders. Okay, listening, please call in, and thanks for all the callers. The heart acts as a two-way pump for the circulatory system. Its life-giving rhythm regulates the flow of the life force throughout the body. Coronary heart disease is the most common cause of death in North America. Emotional block. It's interesting to note that the heart is placed virtually at the center of the body. If you are centered, you are living from the heart in a balanced state of love and trust that is in sync with the natural flow of the universe. Your perspective is one of balance, and you tend to listen to the mutterings of your own heart when faced with decisions. A heart disorder is the manifestation of the opposite mindset. If you are having heart trouble, you probably tend to take everything to heart or to take things far too seriously. You are not allowing for the proper flow in your life, whether it's the flow of ideals, of love, or of your very lifeblood. You are fighting the current of life to the point of physical and emotional exhaustion. You tend to deny your own needs and fulfill others' needs in order to be loved. You seek love through what you do for others. The main message associated with any heart condition is love yourself. Mental block. Heart disease is an urgent message from your body to change your perception of yourself. There is a need for self-validation. Fill the wellspring of love within you by changing your belief that love can come only from others. Give yourself the love you seek, and it will always be there. You won't have to search for it. Get in touch with your self-worth step by step. Begin by giving yourself 10 compliments a day until you begin to believe them. You are unique and very special. Yet, your low self-esteem does not allow you to keep some of your goodness to yourself. Become whole emotionally and spiritually, and your heart will heal as you begin to nurture it. A healthy heart no longer fears being unloved. It is able to cope with disappointment as nothing can disturb its equilibrium. You will continue to nurture others because you want to, not because you need to prove to yourself and others that you are lovable. That is the origin of it. Okay? Please call in. Call in, callers. Please call in, family. 605-562-0444. Press pin number 7414-519 pound, £1 to listen, *2 to join the conversation. Please call in. Let me know of your illnesses. Let me know what they are. I read it here live on the radio. You can take another look at that and begin to deal with the emotional issues that are creating the disease or creating the disease.
So you have a caller right now, Mr. Terrence Shrimp. Yes, indeed. Bring the caller on right here, and you're on live right now on the Dynasty, right here on Know Your Rights.
Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how are you, Terrence? This is Antonia Bass.
Miss Bass, how are you doing this evening?
All right.
You're a very popular person right now.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm glad you are a spiritual person that can manage to mix that with medicine and understand, have people to understand what it takes to heal you. Yes, we do pray first because when I was a candy striper in the hospital years ago, I would, hear people holler out to God, and so I don't think they even realized that's what they were doing in order to just be able to seek some peace in the intensive care ward. So I got the impression they did it to hope that their situation would become reversible, and there's no such thing as waiting too late as long as you're able to have the breath to, call out to them. But also I wanted to say that what Gina Storm was saying about the thing regarding medicine, weight, people don't even realize how weight can actually sabotage your health. And in due time, it will take a toll, and you better hope it's reversible. So the best thing to do is to try to become positive. And if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, to do it, just be in touch with people who are positive. I don't care if it's a person you sit next to on a park bench or wherever you go. It's just the idea that people can be positive influences when you don't even believe in yourself. And once that whole matter can be reversed with the help of you helping yourself, how do they say it in the Bible? God helps those who help themselves.
Yep.
Believe me, I can actually say I can give a testimony to why I even make sure that if I couldn't be positive, I'll actually start calling people who are positive just to be able to say a few words of encouragement. And as a result, I managed to maintain my stride on remaining positive and keeping things going the way I find it necessary in order to get better. Also, I'll say that there's a young lady named Valerie at the VA hospital, along with others who believe in me, and they stick it to me. I may not want to hear it, but it's not like I don't understand it, and they don't do it disrespectfully, and as a result, things do turn out for the better and continue on the straight and narrow. And I pretty much feel healthy, even though every day is always a struggle for everybody.
Right.
You have a great day. Congratulations on achieving your record, because it's nice to see somebody who will mix spirituality with reality, especially when it comes to medical issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you for,
have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you for your wisdom, and congratulations on your connection record, and thanks for being a role model to all of us on O&A. Thank you. I think I have another caller in the queue. After Antonia, is another caller there? Hello?
Yes, hi, Terrence. This is Andrea Kaczynski.
How you doing, Andrea?
Tonight?
I love your voice. How are you doing this evening?
Uh-huh. Thanks. I am doing good. I am loving this topic. Last week, you could say that I had a spiritual awakening myself. I was away out of town for, well, probably about 2.5 hours away from where I live. And I went to a medical clinic who was, had great facilities. There's lots of research, and I battled with a chronic illness for many, many years. And talking about loving yourself, they evaluated me in so many different ways, and they was talking about how positive I was, and which I love to be positive and encourage other people. And then all of a sudden, she stops me, and she's like, "What is going on in your personal life?" I said, "Well, that doesn't matter. I'm here to address the things that are going on." She said, "It does matter."
She's right.
And I wanted to just kind of brush over it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to talk about the things that I had been going through, the last 3 or 4 years and coming out of. And she said, "Well, that can have a huge effect on your health because you're internalizing it,
That's
and
right.
self-love is so important." So I'm glad you're talking about this tonight. And it made me realize the more I was away, how much I love giving the love to other people, but I have to learn to love myself and,
Always.
practice that more with myself also and not internalize it.
Absolutely.
And it was like a wake-up call. You don't realize sometimes you're doing that when you're always the one who's the encourager and the positive one. And it does make a difference, mind, body, spirit. It's
Yes.
the whole thing, So
Yes.
thank you for talking about this tonight.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for
It's a
calling in
great
with,
topic.
yep, with those wise comments. I appreciate that. And we're gonna wrap it up and everything.
You're welcome.
And I just want to say I want to thank all the callers for calling in. I think it's Ngozi time right now, Brother O.